Hello everybody, welcome to Dakman Productions and welcome to Rail. Today I'm going to talk about what happened to my Central New Jersey F3 AA locomotive set that I got from the National Garden Railway Convention show, which is kind of weird that you would find O-gauge Trainz there, but they had that set, and it was sold by a vendor by the name of Trainz, and I'm sure everybody, there's a lot of people familiar with that name, Trainz, with a Z at the end. Trainz sells a lot on eBay. They have their own website that they sell on. They're based in Georgia. And so, I don't know if you see my last podcast, but I really wanted to show this thing off after I got it home. I put it on the track, and it was DOA, or Dead on Arrival, and I couldn't get nothing out of it. So, let's go back in time. We'll talk about the events and where we're at now. So, I went to the National Garden Railway Convention in Tennessee. It's mainly geared towards G scale or garden trains. But the convention was open to, the convention hall, vendors were open to all scales. Trainz was there on location. They had a vendor booth set up. I asked him if he had MTH Central New Jersey passenger cars in Premier, because I was looking for them to go my Camelback that I have on pre-order from Lionel. And he looks at me and goes, "No, but I think we have Lionel C AA set in Central New Jersey." I'm like, "Okay." And I was sort of like shocked. I figured that he's going to pull out the Alco AA set, which is not the one I was looking for. But it was the F3 AA set, and that was another set I was looking for. I missed out on in 2015. So, unfortunately, I missed out on that. I couldn't find another set since, and he just happened to have this. He said he just got them in, and they were not tested. So he pulls them out of the box, and he shows me the dummy unit, the condition, puts it back in the box. He takes the powered unit out and shows it to me, and he flips it upside down to show me the wheels. It looks like it's in really nice, reasonable condition, which it is. I mean, it didn't seem to have a lot of runtime on it. So he puts it back in the box. Now, when I get home to do my podcast to show this thing off, I put it on the track on Rail High Rail. I couldn't get it to program. I couldn't get it to do nothing at all. Then I put it on my traditional layout. I'm like, let me try it at least in conventional mode. That way I can determine if it's the locomotive or the layout that I'm having problems with. So I put it on my traditional layout with an MTH transformer. The number boards do light up just like it did when I would put it on Rail and it wouldn't move. The only thing that would light up were the number boards. Wouldn't do nothing else. I put it on a traditional layout. The number boards would light up. It would do nothing else. It would not move forward, not move backwards. It would not make a sound. It wouldn't do anything else but light up the number boards. And I tried several times and I gave up. And basically, I wrote it off as DOA, or Dead on Arrival, dead board. So in the meantime, I leave it on the track on the traditional layout. I got a hold of Trainz, and they were pretty good about it, I have to say. And I'm sure that depends on how you treat them. You just can't call them up and say, "Hey, you sold me a bad train. You did it great." No, you gotta be nice about it, unless they give you a reason not to be nice. And I accepted the fact that it wasn't tested, so I called them up and said, "Hey, look, I bought this at the Trainz show, and I put it on. I tried it on my both my conventional track and my remote control track, and all that works is the lighted number boards. The number boards light up and that's it. Nothing else works. And they were having a hard time finding it in their inventory, which I understood because the guy did tell me he just got it in. So they said they would have to research this. So once again, you got to be patient, and you have to be cool about it. You know what I mean? Mellow until they, be reasonable. I know it's a little disappointing to get something in and it doesn't work, but I guess it happens. And I accepted that risk of it not being tested. So I know one reason why I'm saying that, most people are like, oh, we'll have to get back to you. Oh yeah, they're just playing a game. No, I got to give them the benefit of the doubt. So I said, okay, no problem. Here's my phone number. And the lady, I forget her name, she was really nice. She said she was new to Trainz, but I really liked dealing with her. She was like nice and happy and stuff, and I don't know, it was just a good connection. So it was about not even an hour later, she calls me back. She said, "Yep, we researched it. It was sold in Georgia at the convention. We know we got the stock number and all that. We're going to send you a FedEx mailing label to send it back to us." Then she says, "Do you want us to repair it, or would you like your money back?" I said, "Well, honestly, I'm a little disappointed. I would like to have my money back because I really don't want to wait an extended amount of time to get something back, because I know Lionel takes a long time to repair things, because I'm sure they would just send it to Lionel, since they're in Georgia, to Lionel, North Carolina." And I've heard some horror stories of locomotives coming back out of Lionel, North Carolina, all screwed up. So I just opted to get my money back. And she says, "That's fine. We're going to send you the FedEx shipping label to your email account. Just box it up and send it back to us. As soon as we get it, we'll refund your money." And that thing made it really easy and simple. So, being nice and reasonable right up front, paid off. I'm not saying there's not sellers out there that, you got to get pretty nasty with it, but this went really well. There was no reason to be, to act unreasonable, to fly off the handle right off the get-go. So I really like the interaction with Trainz and the customer service. Bar none, A+. I give that woman, whoever she is, 2 thumbs up. I really like dealing with her. And she gave me her direct number too. She goes, "You have any problems, here's my direct extension." And that was super nice. I really like that too. So, at this point in time, my dealings with the customer service at Trainz is A+. So, I get home from work, and I go through and I'm about to go through this sad process of packing this up. And I'm looking at it, and before I do all this, I talked to Sid's Trainz through messaging, and I don't know if many of you know who he is, but Sid's Trainz, he does repairs on NTH and Lionel trains, and he is trained, or got training to do this, and that's what he does on the side. And he has his own channel, so check out Sid's Trainz on YouTube. He does some nice video work, and he shoots nice video of the layout. He does many videos on problems with Lionel and fast track and how to solve it and stuff. He's a pretty smart guy for his age. And but at any rate, so I said to him, before I send this back, I want to make sure that this thing is defective. And I tell him what happened, what's wrong. He goes, if the number boards are lighting up, then it is getting power. It's not a problem with the track. He said it sounded almost to him like it was a loose wire or something was going on. I said, okay, I just didn't want to send this thing back and he'd tell me there's nothing wrong with it. But, I just want to rule out there was a problem on my layouts, even though I tried it on 2 different layouts and it didn't work. And he says, absolutely not. If the number boards light up, then the locomotive is receiving power to the boards. Okay, thank you. So I go back, and we're talking about, 2 days later, I come back down here into the Dakman studio / Conway Rail basement, and I go through the sad process of looking at it to pack this thing up. I'm like, I can't believe this. This is a shame. I really wanted this thing. And I don't know. Gut feeling told me that, a gut feeling said, Sean, I think you should try this again. I don't know why or what made me do it, but I did. I said, I tried this thing several times. This is a waste of time, but, my gut feeling says, Sean, try it again. So I tried it again, and so I heard 2 high-pitched squeals. It was like the weirdest noise you could ever hear, and that was the first time it came to life. And it was like this noise, and then it quit, and then it did it again, and then it stopped, and then it started to move. So it moved forward. It moved backwards. I can make the bell work, the horn work. So now I'm getting this thing to move on the traditional layout. So I'm continuing to, to use it back and forth and trying to make it. Now I can't get it to mess up. I can't get it to quit working. I'm like, okay, now it's time to try it on the high rail layout. And I put it on a high rail layout. And then I had problems programming it. It would not take any kind of programming to my numbers. I put in, you're supposed to use like 56, the road number. I tried different numbers. I tried 5, I tried 6, 56. Nothing was working programming this. And I remember Sid's Trainz helping out crossed anchors on a programming issue with a Lionel locomotive. And he told them to program it to default number 1 first. And I remember that. And so that's what I did. I programmed it to default number 1. And it took. And then I remember in the video with Sid and crossed anchor, Sid said, if number 1 takes, the default takes, then you can program that locomotive to whatever number you want after that. So that's what I did. I programmed it to 56, which is the road number of this, and it took successfully. So that was all a plus. So there's your tip. Thanks to Sid. Watching that video with crossed anchors. So if you're having an issue programming the locomotive, won't take any numbers, put it back to default number 1, and then after it runs the number 1, you can program it to whatever number you want after there. So I was able to put the road number in of 56 and name it CNJ, and now we're good to go. So I'm running this locomotive around Conway Rail, trying the different features. And I tried the couplers, and you guys are going to laugh at me for this one. So the front knuckle coupler opens, but the back one doesn't. I'm like, I wonder why the back one doesn't open. Then it dawned on me, it's like, duh, it's an AA set. So it's going to have an operating knuckle coupler on the dummy unit. So I opened up that box, and sure enough, the dummy unit has a knuckle coupler on it. And it was kind of weird. After that, I did read the instructions. I guess I should have done that first. But you know how guys are. They just want to put it on a track and try and make something work. But so I read the instructions and found out you have to program that road number in too. I'm like, that's weird. You got to program a dummy unit into the legacy system, but that's to make their lights work in the correct direction, and for the operating knuckle coupler feature to work properly. So I programmed the dummy unit in, and then I lashed them up 56, 57. I made a whole entire new road number for the for the train unit, and now we're good to go. So I've been running this for the last 2 or 3 days, and I still can't get it to mess up. I have no clue at this point in time as to what could have happened or why it happened. And even if I return this now, it's going to work, and they're going to see that it works. So, I guess I got a couple options. If I still want to send it back, I can call them up and say, hey, look, it finally started working, but I'm a little leery of it may quit later. Or it's something that I really wanted, and it is in pretty good shape and condition. And everything works, and I haven't tried the smoke unit. I'm not going to try the smoke unit. I don't care if that works or not. Because for the price I paid for it, that feature really doesn't matter because I don't use smoke anyway. Or I could just keep it and call them up and say, hey, it started working and everything's fine at this point in time. And ask them how much time do I have before I can send it back if it fails again. But I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm willing to take a gamble with it and keep it. I know not all of you are going to agree with that decision, but yeah, at this point in time, I want to keep it. It's working. So, if any of you may know what may have happened, just put it in the comments, or any kind of thoughts on what could have happened. But I think going back in time, since this was used, and it wasn't used much, that there might have been a little bit of smoke fluid left in it. And when the salesman flipped it over to show me the wheels and put it back in the box again, I think a little bit of smoke fluid may have gotten out and on one of the boards. That's just a theory. And then when it sat there on a track for 2 or 3 or 4 days, it finally dried out and started to work. That's just the theory I have. I do know that if you overfill certain Lionel locomotives with smoke fluid, the smoke fluid bowls are over the boards on quite a few of these diesel locomotives, like the GP30. I can tell you that if you overfill that, the smoke fluid will come out and get on the board and short the board out if it's excessive, and then fry the board. At this point in time, it works. Like I said, I haven't tried the smoke unit. I don't care about that. Everything else works. The sounds work. It idles up, it throttles up, it moves forward, it moves backwards. So we'll check it out and do a couple things with it. I'll let you guys look at it, and then later on, when I collect the proper rolling stock for it, as long as everything holds up, then I'll bring you a full video of it running on Kanehe Rail. So let's take a look at it.
Dispatcher here. Do you copy? Over.
Roger that.
Please start up and stand by.
Copy that, dispatcher. We'll get up and running. Out. We're ready. Are we clear to pull? Over.
Roger that. Take the green. Over.
Thank you much. Cleared outbound. Out.
So once again, at this point in time, I tested all the features. The knuckle couplers on both ends work. The sounds work. It moves back and forth. There's no glitches of it stopping or anything like that. It's just kind of a weird issue that happened. I did not try the smoke unit. I really don't care about that. I'm not even going to try it. So that's all. That part of it's on me. So at this point in time, I'm just going to go ahead and cross my fingers. And I know not everybody's going to agree with that. They're going to tell me I should send it back, but well, that part will be on me. So I'd rather have this set. So why do I want this set so bad? Because in my town, for the longest time, there was actually a Alco FA unit, I believe. And don't quote me on this, but it was a streamline of some sort. But I don't think it was an F3. I think it was an FA. I'm pretty sure it was an Alco FA. That was sitting on a siding for years and years in these colors, the orange and tangerine, on some dead siding. And they were going to restore it, but they didn't. It ended up getting scrapped and destroyed. So, and then I seen a B unit sitting over at Steamtown, and supposedly it was an original CNJ B unit in tangerine and orange, but they were going to repaint it something else to match a locomotive, an F locomotive they had there. So, you know, it's just a memory of seeing that tangerine and orange locomotive sitting here in my town yard for all the years, even though it was in sad shape and pretty much left rotting, and then they finally scrapped it. So that's why I wanted these so bad. Plan is to, you know, if everything works out well, I'll move forward and start buying, you know, proper time period rolling stock to go with it. Alright, everybody, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next video.